Hello, I'm Xochitl Mora with the City of McAllen, and welcome to On 1300. Joining me today is Mark Vega, who is the General Manager of our McAllen Public Utility. Mark, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, you're welcome.
So MPU is somewhat of a sister agency or partner agency with the City of McAllen, an offshoot, but
Yes.
Basically you provide our water and sewer service for the residents of the City of McAllen. And recently MPU received some very favorable news from Fitch, a ratings agency, and the MPU received a rating of a AA+. Why don't you tell us about that and what that means for MPU?
Right. It means a lot to us, and I'll tell you why. The AA+ is one step shy of a perfect rating, which is a AAA. And so we're just below that, meaning we have a very good credit score, so to speak. And so that's important to us. Back in 2015 and 2016, we borrowed close to $28 million. And so Fitch comes back and assesses your ability to pay back that loan, right? And so they'll go ahead and assess your whole system, all your finances, and then they'll give you a credit score, so to speak. That credit score is the AA+ that we received, which is very favorable. Whenever you go and borrow for more loans, that will reflect in the interest rate that you will receive for those loans. So at the end of the day, a lower interest rate on a borrowed loan saves the ratepayers a lot of money. There's a big difference between a low rating interest rate and a very high rated interest rate. So that means that you wind up paying back much less money than if you had a poor rating. So that translates into savings for our citizens.
And this is very similar to what the average citizen would find in their credit score and going out for loans for any major purchases that they would like, such as an automobile or
a
home
house,
or something.
yes.
So obviously this is very good news for the ratepayers of the City of McAllen that MPU has such a fiscally responsible position and strategy for managing the revenue and expenses of the system, which is what is providing our water and sewer. It indicated that the outlook was stable, which is important because we do know that there are challenges here in the Rio Grande Valley with weather conditions, and then also just what everybody is facing is COVID. How did COVID impact the rating, or did it at all?
Yeah, so it's a good point because COVID actually impacted municipalities or cities in a harder, more adverse way than a utility, because people need water and they need sewer regardless of if people are in a hospital or they're at home, if restaurants are closed down, if malls are closed. So in that respect, we saw our residential consumption, water consumption, increase while our commercial consumption decreased slightly because a lot of restaurants were closed, schools were closed. So a lot of commercial accounts saw a decrease in water consumption, but the residential water consumption increased significantly. So it's kind of a wash, but as far as revenues, with respect to revenues, we didn't see a big difference simply because the McAllen Public Utility does not receive any ad valorem taxes, any sales tax revenues. So the things that really fluctuate in a pandemic don't really impact the utility as much. And so our revenues and expenses were not significantly impacted at all by COVID.
One of the things that when I was looking at the rating was that they also assess the customer base, if you will, for MPU, and we've seen that it has been growing slightly, which is good, which is very good. And what MPU is doing with these bonds and all of the work that you've been doing is to prepare for that increase, prepare for the future, to continue to be able to provide water and sewer service. So can you tell us what plans you have for the next 5 years for MPU to be able to prepare for that that growth that we see in McAllen?
Yeah, so that's a good question, because that's one of the major points that they, meaning Fitch Rating, uses to assess your credit. So there's several points that they use, several factors. One of them is your 5-year capital improvement plan. what are the big projects that you see on your horizon that you may have to borrow 10 million, you may have to borrow $50 million. So they want to know what improvements you're going to make and how much you're going to need to borrow. And so in that respect, you know, there's things like our smart meter project, which is called the AMI project. We're going to replace every water meter in the city to a smart meter. And so you won't see what you've seen for 100 years, which is a meter reader walking up and down the streets and reading a meter. So probably, you know, if we rewind, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, a lot of the electrical companies went to smart meters, because you used to have actually a meter reader for your electricity, and that stopped maybe 15 years ago or so. We kept going with that. Now, several cities are now finding more efficient ways to read meter, and technology has done that. And so now, every meter in the city would be read remotely at City Hall. And so that's one of the big projects that's coming. It gives the customer the ability to check on their usage on a weekly basis. If they see something abnormal, they can check for leaks. There's real-time data that they can check on. And it benefits us too, because now we don't have meter readers, right, and that are exposed to potential risks out there, that are driving 12, 15 vehicles every day. And so that's one of our major projects, is going smart meter for the whole city. We're also expanding our water treatment plant. So water treatment plants have a certain capacity to be able to serve the 48,000 accounts. And as growth occurs, like you were talking about, you've got to stay ahead of the capacity, the water capacity, to be able to furnish to the city. And so we're expanding the water treatment plant. We're bringing sewer service to Northwest McAllen for a large area that's been unsewered for many, many years, which basically means that they're on septic tanks. And then we see other projects on the horizon, things like possibly gaining more in way north McAllen, meaning like north of Montecristo, additional water service area. And so we're going to be asking the Public Utility Commission for a certain geographic area, meaning about 15, 20,000 acres that we can now serve. So that would be part of McAllen Public Utility. And then that would trigger projects in itself. We also have our recycled water projects. So a lot of people don't know that we actually provide recycled water to a master plan community called Tres Lagos to the north, in North McAllen. We provide recycled water to a power generator company on Montecristo as well. So a lot of projects coming up that we're excited about.
Well, and then some of these that you mentioned, such as the recycled water, the MPU is only the second in the state of Texas that has this service. So this is something that's very innovative and obviously just very green thinking, because again, water is such a precious commodity in this area of Texas where we have to monitor the river level, our rain levels, et cetera. So being able to maximize the water that we have to be able to keep our lawns green, which is what we all want. The other thing that's also very unique about MPU is that it is the only utility department, or in this case, almost like its own company, managed with an elected board in the state of Texas. And so that's important because I think that gives the community a little bit of say in their elected official that represents their interests for water and sewer service.
And that's such an important point, because just like you said, the only publicly elected utility board in the state of Texas. So there are many utility boards, but they're appointed by a city council. And so when you're appointed by a city council, you are somewhat beholden to that city council. And we all know that it's human nature, especially here in the Valley, that the priorities for cities are usually always going to be police, fire, streets and drainage, parks and recreation, and then it'll be something like water and sewer. So it's lower on the totem pole on the list of priorities, generally speaking, and so many cities' utility systems reflect that. At McAllen Public Utility, that is our only priority, is water and sewer. So all of our focus is to improve the water and sewer system. And that's why we have the system that we do. And it's really a testament to our employees, because to have the system that we have at the rates that we have, that's innovative. So you will hear a lot of utilities in the state that claim to be innovative, and maybe they are, and that's a good thing. But at the rates that they charge, it's really a testament to our folks that we are innovative at the rates that we are able to maintain. So we're really proud of our employees and what they're able to accomplish.
Well, I think the residents or the customers of MPU should also recognize that MPU also has some of the lowest rates
Yes.
In the state of Texas
Exactly.
for water and sewer. So again, it's just very innovative, and you're being as fiscally responsible and strategically smart in planning for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So we recognize that this rating by Fitch is very well deserved, very well earned, and we appreciate the MPU board and of course you, Mark, leading MPU, for your guidance and leadership in planning for that and managing that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about this?
Just that, like I said, we have about 240, just over 240 employees that work round the clock. There's always somebody on standby or physically at our water treatment plants. So we have 2 water treatment plants, 2 wastewater plants. Someone is always working at McAllen Public Utility. There isn't a second of any day that someone is not working at McAllen Public Utility. So, and that is to keep safe, affordable drinking water available to our community and wastewater services. So, just wanted to let the public, to remind them, because a lot of times utilities is out of sight, out of mind, and it's something that we take for granted. We turn a faucet and clean, potable water comes out to shower, to cook, to wash, and it really is. It's really a privilege and a luxury to have something like that service. So we're really proud of our employees.
So if we are really grateful for the employees and for everything that is done so that we do have clean water, and when we flush the toilet, it works.
Right.
If a customer has questions or problems or concerns, is there a number or a website that they can call?
Yes, so they can always call 956-681-1600, 956-681-1600, or they can visit us on our website, which is www.mcallenpublicutility.com. So they can see us there or visit us there.
Okay. Well, Mark, thank you so much for stopping by. This was really great information. We hope that I'm sure that our customers, the MPU customers and the residents of the city of McAllen, including the businesses that utilize our services, really appreciate all of this, efforts and plans that you are doing to manage our water and sewer system. We wish you luck and continue to provide that water. And for all of you watching at home, thank you so much. This has been On 1300 for the city of McAllen. I'm Xochitl Mora.